Welcome and thank you for joining us on the One Love Wellbeing and Lifestyle Show, filmed in beautiful Pennsylvania at the Harmony Mountain Institute for Living. I'm your host, Julia Brown, and we have a co-host, Dr. Peter Amato. Welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. We've been having some tremendous topics, some awesome guests, and today is no other than Dr. Gerald Smith, is a renowned certified doctor at the World Organization for Natural Medicine to practice natural medicine globally. He's also a certified dental practitioner, is broad base of postgraduate training in dentistry and natural medicine enable him to integrate many healthcare specialists. Sir Dr. Smith is also a Night Hospitaller, a dedicated professional organization dated back to the year 1050. Wow.
Thanks, Julia. And Dr. Smith, he's an amazing healthcare practitioner. His clinical practice is so diverse. He's quite a gentleman. He serves all over the world. He helps needy people in different parts of the world for many, many years. He's someone that I admire deeply. Today he's going to be talking with us about a field that's only now kind of coming out of the closet, if you will. It's called energy medicine. Imagine that, energy medicine, and how we have issues in our tissues at the cellular level. He talks about how genetics play into it, and he's here today with us. Dr. Gerald Smith will be back on One Love. Be right back.
And welcome back to the One Love Wellbeing and Lifestyle Show with our special guest, Dr. Gerald Smith. Thank you for coming, sir.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm honored and can't wait to share my information with your audience.
Awesome. And of course, my guest host, Dr. Peter Amato, and I'm Julia Brown. Doctor, we know you have a vast wealth of knowledge, information, over the years, experiences and practices. What is energy medicine?
Energy medicine basically is with frequencies. The whole universe works on frequencies. The key is that everything in the universe vibrates at a signature frequency. You know, Raymond Royal Rife back in the 30s discovered that viruses and bacteria and fungi all have a signature frequency at which they vibrate. And if you bombard that virus or frequency with the mortal oscillatory frequency, it literally explodes that pathogen without injuring the surrounding tissue. So, in essence, energy medicine is dealing with the frequencies of tissue, the frequencies of organs, the frequencies of pathogens, of all kinds of substances. And the key is to balance out these frequencies to maintain health.
All right. So as long as they're aligned, you're supposed to be in good health.
Exactly.
As long as it goes off, that's when disease and so forth comes into play.
Well, it's
we just want to break it down a little bit for our audience to understand.
Basically, it's epigenetic, as Bruce Lipton speaks about. When you have environmental distortions such as pollution, poor quality air, water, food, you may have a genetic weak link, but the environmental factors manifest it, bring it to fruition, and this is why you get sick. So, for example, you may have an overload of mercury from your mother when you're born because she had too many mercury fillings in her teeth. Everything's going along fine. You get a job that's high stress, and your immune system gets suppressed, and now the body can't handle the mercury, and you get sick.
Oh, I did not know that the filling from your mother's teeth could have been passed down to the fetus?
Usually the firstborn gets the burden of the mother's mercury.
Oh, I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
There's so many names for what we call frequency. You know, I know it as vibrational medicine, is the way, some of my early training was, and we had machinery called radionics. And this world of energy medicine, when you talk about energy and vibration, or as you said, frequency, are you suggesting then that each one of us, our whole body and our physiology is really vibrating?
Absolutely.
And does it vibrate in consistency, or do the cells vibrate different than the tissues, different than the bones, different than the skin and the organs and glands, or do they all vibrate of the same frequency, doctor?
Interesting question. I think it's a little bit about both. I think each cell, each organ has its own vibratory frequency, but the maestro of the whole body is going at a separate frequency. For example, the Schumann frequency of the Earth is 7.83 hertz. So when you're born and you're in utero, your fluid is picking up that 7.83 hertz vibratory frequency. As each organ develops, it has its own unique little frequency within the total orchestra.
Okay, so what we're saying here is that we've all heard the adage, we are one with everything, okay? Of course, this is the One Love show. So if and when there is vibrational distortion or a variance in frequency within the orchestra, the maestro, as Dr. Smith is calling it, would be where we would have a probability to have a health issue if somewhere within there is some part of us not vibrating or not mirror reflecting the essence of the universe. That's where we would have a health concern. However that would arise, we don't exactly know because it's not based on looking at one's frequency through their parts and pieces, correct?
Correct. But what's interesting, there's electronic equipment that's available that literally makes an assessment of your body by taking a database of known frequencies of specific pathogens, chemicals, and so forth, and comparing it against the patient's holographic energy pattern. And from that integration, you can filter out the top 2-3% of the stressors in your body causing your dis-ease.
Wow. That's amazing. We're going to break that down and talk about all these wonderful areas of energy medicine and machinery that tests and calls on frequency on One Love. We're going to take a break, folks, and we'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back live from Harmony Mountain Institute for Living. I'm here with my co-host, Julia Brown, as well as our featured guest, Dr. Gerald Smith. We were just talking before the break about energy medicine and technology. And Dr. Smith was referring to advanced technology that he utilizes in his private practice for testing, okay? Before we get into that, are we talking about quantum physics here, and when we talk about testing, are we testing at the cellular level or at the level of genes, or tell us a little more about this world.
Basically, you're testing down to the core issues, down to the molecular structure of the body. Each organelle, each tissue, each cell has a frequency. The advantage of using scalar energy, which gives off 0-point energy, meaning if you take electromagnetic stimulation, you're altering the physiology of the cell. When you use scalar energy, you're not disturbing the cell, so you're reading a true frequency from that cell or organ or tissue. And this technology was basically developed in the 30s by Nikola Tesla. The scalar energy is what the universe is made up of. The sun gives off scalar energy. It travels multiple times faster than the speed of light. The plants absorb it, store it in biophotons. You eat the raw food, you get the biophotons. That's what stimulates the healing process. It imprints that frequency into your fluid. The fluid then acts as an antenna, bringing in the ambient scalar energy to maintain your health. When you have implants, when you have heavy metal toxicity, pesticides, frankenfoods, it distorts the antenna. The energy coming into your body is reduced, and you get sick.
Wow. Okay. So we are antennas.
Absolutely.
And the energy of the intake and how we live affects the oscillation, and it affects the way we are at one with universal life force energy, or we have distortion.
And EMFs are doing a number on the population. Barry Trower from England, a retired physicist, worked for MI5, documented that in the elementary schools, the children are getting sterilized from the EMFs. Government documentation, this is not maybe if type of science.
Right. As far as the technology that you're using, Julia, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Oh my God, I'm just here in awe. It's just awesome. That particular machine, I remember going on it, and I remember I was feeling really lethargic, everything that, and I went to Dr. Peter Amato's office, and I went on the machine, and I was a mess. I was a mess. Based on the reading, I could say now it's a mess. So after, certain treatments and certain natural elements that my body needed, I did a reading like couple months after. Big, major difference. Big, and it did not take a drop of my blood. And that's when I know that this particular machine is very good, because I don't like to be pricked, injected. I don't like any of those. So when the reading came out positive and I felt way better, I looked better, I know that something more is there to this machine.
Right. And as I recall in your case, Ms. Brown, and you just spoke about teeth and heavy metals.
Yes.
It was heavy metals in your case that the machine had picked up.
Oh my goodness.
Correct? You recall?
Of filling, yes.
And then we remediated, we rectified that situation. You did what you needed to do, you came back, and everything was fine over a few month period. Yeah. So that affirms that would you say that the machine, how did the machine pick up the fact that it was the heavy metal toxicity that was her issue?
Well, it's real simple, basically, Julia. The metal gives off a frequency. The machine has a database of these electromagnetic signatures, frequencies in the database. So it's literally comparing its known frequency patterns with yours, and then it makes a match. Whereas blood tests, if the heavy metal's trapped in your jawbone or gums or organs, the blood test is not going to divulge the presence of the heavy metal, so they're missing it totally. Whereas energetic medicine is much more sophisticated, much more accurate, and gives you a better total picture of what's really causing your problem.
Wow. Because going to the traditional doctors, it's always, like you said, Band-Aid upon Band-Aid, and I'm not one to be taking medications like that, so that greatly helped. And, it's just that it's a pity that more persons are not gravitating towards this kind of healing.
Well, basically, in 45 minutes, the machine covers so much ground. There's no blood tests in the world that could give you that comprehensive evaluation. And in addition, if your doctor spends 3 minutes with you, you think you've been blessed by the Pope. So in 3 minutes, what can you ascertain on the patient's problem? Let's be real.
Yeah, you come in, you tell him what's wrong. Oh, my head or my hand. Okay. Prescribe X amount of medication, come back next 2-3 weeks. You're back, same thing, probably somewhere else, because, it heals this, but it's affected somewhere else.
Exactly.
The root of the problem has not been touched. So thank God for this technology. Dr. Amato?
Right. And we'll get into the latest technology that the doctor has, but just for a short time here, sum up the years. You've been dealing with this type of electronic medicine for decades, like myself. Say a little bit about how it has evolved and what has changed over the last 10 or 20 years, just in brief.
Yeah, basically the first models that came out were simplistic. They had a very narrow database of frequencies, and also the way it was attached to your body, had some certain limitations, but as each generation improved, the sophistication got better, and the machines became more sensitive, the databases became larger, and the key is that it's giving you a more comprehensive approach. Like I know Dr. Amato uses the SCIO, and very sophisticated technology, has incredible coverage of psychological issues, chemicals, heavy metals, nutritional, and these types of units, are covering multiple bases, getting to the root cause quickly and non-invasively.
Wow. That's a great summary. And I'm real excited to learn more about the newest state-of-the-art technology that Dr. Smith has been using for quite some time now. He's told me some fascinating stories and results he's having with his patient clients. So we're going to take a quick break now, and we're going to come back and hear all about the new technology. Be right back, folks, on One Love. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, folks, welcome back. We're here with my co-host Julia Brown and our special guest, Dr. Gerald Smith. Jerry, I'm really fired up to hear about the new technology and the advancements you've made with the machines. Can you talk to us a little bit about it, please?
Yes, the new technology we have is from Germany. It's called Cyberscan, and it's been around since 1993, introduced over in Australia. The key is that in 10 seconds, by placing your palm chakra over a Tesla coil, it imports a holographic energy pattern of your body. It has a database of over 122,000, that's 122,000 electromagnetic signatures of food additives, pesticides, heavy metals, all kinds of viruses, parasites, mental emotional state, you name it. And within a half hour to 45 minutes, it triages the patient's electromagnetic issues and then filters it down to the top 2-3%. You take the top 140 signals, imprint it into a bottle of sterile saline solution. The patient then puts the drops under the tongue 3 times a day. And what it's doing, in essence, it's waking your body's own immune system up to deal with the top stressors so it can take care of the problem. In addition, it also has the ability to analyze 580 electromagnetic signatures from EMFs that may be affecting you. It tells actually which ones are adversely affecting you, imprints the healing frequencies on a little credit card sized plastic card. You put that under your bed while you're sleeping, and it negates the EMFs that you're being confronted with. The third component, it has a broadcast mechanism. So we have patients from literally all over the world that we send the cards out to them. Also the EE water, the electromagnetic signatures imprinted in the solution. But we also broadcast via scalar energy to that patient. And it's just like if I dial Peter's cell number, your phone rings, but Julia's doesn't. And the same thing happens when you imprint the DNA code of that patient onto the scalar wave. You could broadcast it out to the whole universe, but it'll only affect your DNA signature, just like a TV station tuned into a specific frequency, and boost your healing mechanism. I mean, this is like ET technology. It is so far advanced and so effective. I mean, we deal with people with all kinds of health issues, and we're getting positive results just like you do in your clinic. The other interesting technology is called Therify. It's 100 years of intelligent evolution. You have 2 bulbs with noble gas creating like a light bulb effect, but the scalar energy is being transmitted through the gases, and it has 18 specific healing frequencies and piggybacked on the scalar wave. And all you do is you lie down on a massage table and you're immersed in this plasma field of scalar energy. Give you some examples. We had a dog that was brought into us with post-traumatic syndrome. It was not treated properly by its original owner. It was a rescue dog. After 2 treatments, the dog's personality started to change. After 12 treatments, the dog's personality was 180 degrees improved. Now, a dog doesn't have, any agenda. It doesn't know from a placebo effect. It either works or it doesn't work.
Less baggage.
Less baggage. So we've had, really positive results. Chronic pain. We had one woman with Lyme disease. After the first treatment, she had 3 days of being totally pain-free, and she came back for, additional treatments. One of my patients had 6 months of knee pain. Chiropractic didn't work. Acupuncture didn't work. Massage didn't work. 2 5-minute sessions totally eradicated the pain, never to come back.
We're not talking about taking anything internally, are we?
No, you're just being bathed by a plasma field of energy. We had one woman, 8 years of vertigo, and 1 3-minute session, and that was in October. She has not had any vertigo since the 1 3-minute treatment. So this is technology kind of like Star Trek. and Bones up in the Good Ship Enterprise.
Right.
It's available, people, and this is where medicine is headed, because traditional drugs, traditional surgery, radiation is damaging the immune system. It's suppressing your body. That's not healing.
Absolutely. And I love the advancement from the standpoint that so many more frequencies have been added in the new technology. You said it was over 100?
122,000.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So ultimately, what Dr. Smith is saying here is that anything and everything that would make us sick can be tested for using frequency, almost like an X-ray, would you say?
Better than an X-ray.
Better than an X-ray, because this is at the cellular level, and it also reads back the not only the root of the problem, the symptoms, but also brings the antidote in the sense of, like Julie mentioned, frequency rather than tablets or capsules or pills.
Absolutely. And the thing is, with this new technology, you can also clone things. So, for example, I had a patient who could not handle 1 drop of oregano. Oregano is one of the best natural antibiotics out there on the marketplace. What I did is I cloned the energy pattern of the oregano, made it into a homeopathic, and she was able to handle it and had phenomenal results against her Lyme, which she had for 8 years. And this was the first time that she had any type of relief.
Wow.
So no to reading, no to prescribed medication is the same.
Right.
None.
It's quantum physics. Everything, every second, your body's changing. And, you know, as opposed to blood tests, you're taking one window of that particular day of what's going on, but there's so much it's missing. It's just unsophisticated. To me, it's Neanderthal mentality.
Wow, this is deep, Dr. Amato.
Such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And before the show, you were saying you've had some breakthrough with concussions.
Oh my God. Basically, there's a motion at the base of the skull. When you breathe in, it goes up into flexion. When you exhale, it goes into extension. Inhale, exhale. When you get traumatized, then the bottom line is that motion gets reversed. And what happens is it affects the pumping of the cerebrospinal fluid into the brain so that the waste products build up in the brain tissue and the toxins can't get out, the nutrients can't get in. Plus, it puts a pull all the way down to your sacrum and it affects your whole autonomic and central nervous system. We had one fella, 21 and a half years post-concussion syndrome, when he got hit on the head from glass that broke at a hockey game, a professional hockey game. And he just came in after 21 and a half years. 2 weeks ago, I adjusted his cranium one time, resynced the motion of his skull. He walked out without symptoms.
Wow.
And not to return.
Wow. The type of work doctor's doing here is incredible. We'll have to have him back on the show again, Julie. What do you say?
Yes, most definitely. But in between shows, maybe you could tell us where we could connect with you, maybe on the internet or website?
Sure, yeah. My website is icnr.com, and it's easily attainable. We have over 250,000 hits each year because we have such great information. We have answers. We're giving people answers.
Right. And you do a radio show as well?
Yes, every Tuesday between 4 and 5, we have a blog radio show. It's Dr. Ron, unfiltered, uncensored. I kid around. I say it's also unpasteurized.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much again. An honor to have you here, and hopefully we'll have you back soon. Best of health. One love, everyone. See you next time.